Earlier in the drama, we are introduced to Lucy, who since childhood had been in love with her brother Sang-yeon's best friend Dwan, whereas he did not reciprocate those feelings for her. However, things started to change as Lucy moved to Dwan's hometown for her university. The situation forced them to spend more time together and allowed Dwan to see Lucy in a new light. Just as things started to develop romantically between the two, trouble knocked on their door in the form of Lucy's brother Sang-yeon. Lucy tried to explain things to Sang-yeon, but he dismissed her and became enraged when he learned about her relationship with Dwan. Sang-yeon beat up Dwan, who insisted his feelings for Lucy were genuine. Eventually, Sang-yeon accepted their relationship and asked Dwan to hit him back to make it seem like they fought fairly. Lucy found out about Sang-yeon hitting Dwan and confronted him, after which she cut off ties with him. Dwan immediately runs behind her to calm down and to convince her to come back inside. Lucy reluctantly agrees to this, and so they both go back to where they left Sang-yeon. However, as soon as Lucky enters, her and Sang-yeon start arguing again. Lucy warns her brother to not pull something like this again, otherwise he's going to have to face her wrath. But Sang-yeon refuses to agree to this, and so Lucy starts fighting with him again. Dwan intervenes and tries to save the situation by showing her the bruise on Sang-yeon's face. He tells her that it is okay as he hits Sang-yeon back as well. Hearing this, Lucy switches back to being on her brother's side and scolds Dwayne for hitting her brother when only she has the right to do that. Hearing this, Sang-yeon is finally happy that at least his sister cares about him. Feeling cared for, Sang-yeon remarks at how upsetting it is that he came from so far to visit his sister, but she did not even bother to offer him water. Hearing this, Lucy feels guilty and starts to pour water for him. This indicates that both siblings are back to being civil with each other. When their food arrives, Dwan starts to feed Lucy with a lot of love. Sang-yeon is repulsed by seeing his friend act so cozy with his sister and requests them not to show this lovey-dovey behavior in front of him. At this, Lucy is amused, and so she starts to deliberately make her brother uncomfortable by feeding Dwan with her own hands. Sang-yeon does not appreciate being teased like this, so he begs them to stop this display of public affection in front of him. But both Dwan and Lucy ignore him and carry on coddling each other. On their way back, Sang-yeon falls asleep in the car and is lying down in the back seat. Seizing this opportunity, Dwan kisses Lucy, mentioning that he had been holding himself back since morning. Lucy is overjoyed to hear this and blushes, her mood heightened. When they reach the hostel, she wakes up Sang-yeon and tells him to sit in the front because Dwan is not his driver and should not have to drive him around while he naps in the car. Sang-yeon begrudgingly comes and sits in the front, annoyed by his sister's affection for Dwan. As she is leaving, Lucy blows Dwan a flying kiss, which he returns happily. Once more, Sang-yeon is annoyed, but he chooses to remain quiet, simply making a face at their antics. Then only Dwan and Sang-yeon are left behind, where Dwan mentions that he's going back to his office, but will drop Sang-yeon home first. However, Sang-yeon insists on going to the office with him. Once at the office, Dwan throws himself in his pent-up work. Seeing him work so far, Sang-yeon is concerned and asks him why he overworks so much, suggesting that he should take care of his health too. Dwan explains to him that the company director is unwell, and once she recovers, his workload will be significantly reduced. Hearing this, Sang-yeon is relieved, but then Dwan requests him not to tell Lucy about his overworking as she will worry unnecessarily. Sang-yeon agrees to this logical approach of his. Next, it's shown that when Dwan comes out of his cabin, his friend tells him that he saw his girlfriend with another girl a few days ago, causing trouble downstairs. Dwan understands that this girl he was referring to is Jang, so he directly meets with her and warns her not to meet Lucy again or trouble her, threatening to report her to the police. Dwan expresses his long-standing frustration with Jang, but now that it's about his love, he makes it clear that he won't tolerate any more interference. Jang is shocked to see Dwan so serious and angry for the first time. Realizing how much Dwan hates her, Dwan leaves having made his point. At night, Lucy is in a company meeting where a problem arises. When asked for ideas, Lucy presents hers, which everyone likes, showing how intelligent she is. However, Shi-woo is not happy because her own idea was rejected. Hence, Shi-woo scolds Lucy privately, telling her she should have informed her first about any ideas. Lucy apologizes, saying she didn't intend any harm. Shi-woo, still angry, accuses Lucy of only knowing how to steal others' boyfriends. This deeply hurts Lucy, as she has been working hard for the company but receives no respect from its head. When Lucy heads out, she meets Sang-yeon, who tells her that he is leaving on a night flight that day. Lucy asks why, as she had planned to show him around and even took a day off for that. Sang-yeon reassures her, saying he will visit next time and has some work to finish. Lucy becomes upset and cries non-stop. Initially, Sang-yeon thinks she is upset because he is leaving, but then he wonders if something has happened at the company. He asks if anyone is bullying her, but Lucy denies it. Sang-yeon suggests she could leave the job if she's uncomfortable, reminding her that they are not short of money, and he can send her more pocket money if she wants. However, Lucy insists she wants to handle things herself. Dwan arrives at that exact moment, and seeing Lucy cry, he thinks Sang-yeon must have said something to upset Lucy, and so he starts to fight him. But Sang-yeon explains that she is upset because of her work. At this, Lucy scolds Sang-yeon for revealing everything to Dwan. Sang-yeon, who is trying to be helpful, tells her that he is leaving her with her boyfriend, so she should be happy. Lucy smiles, content with their relationship. Overall, Sang-yeon thinks everything seems to be going well for the both of them and leaves feeling content. Back to the current issue, Dwan says that he needs to talk to Lucy's boss for making her upset. He heads into the company, but Lucy stops him and convinces him to let her handle this. Later at night, the two take a stroll. Dwan tells her that he found out she had met with Jang, which is why he called Jang to make sure she wouldn't trouble Lucy again. He is also upset that she had hidden the meeting with Jang from him. Lucy promises that she will never hide anything from Dwan again, and so Dwan, happy, kisses her forehead and promises her that he will never hide anything from her either. The next day, Dwan shows Lucy an apartment, planning to buy it in the future to give her a better life. Lucy is very happy to see how much Dwan cares for her. Later that night, Lucy, alone in her hostel as her roommates had gone home, feels very hot as the air conditioning had stopped working. She complains about it to the hostel management, but they tell her it can only be fixed after the holidays. With no other option, Lucy struggles to bear with the heat. When Dwan calls her, Lucy randomly complains to him about her situation. He asks her to pack her things, saying he has come to pick her up as he wants her to stay at his place until her roommates return. Initially, Lucy hesitates, but eventually agrees to it. At Dwan's house, she feels shy seeing him in his nightsuit and goes back to her room. Dwan notices this and asks her what she is doing, to which Lucy explains that she has some work to do. Dwan informs her that he is checking a new game he has developed and invites Lucy to play it with him. During this, Lucy is distracted, thinking only of Dwayne in this close proximity. He coyly tells her to focus on the game instead of looking at him, which makes her smile. However, when she tries to get up, her hair gets stuck in his shirt button. She asks him if she can open the first button of his shirt to free her hair, and Dwan agrees. But after freeing her hair, Dwan does not let her go but kisses her because he felt very affectionate towards her lately, and so Lucy kisses him back. They spend some quality time together until Lucy pulls back, using work as an excuse to leave. She goes to the bedroom feeling puzzled about what had happened between them earlier. The next day, Dwan wakes up to find that Lucy had already left for work after making breakfast for him. When he comes home that night, Lucy is already asleep. Days pass in a similar manner, and then Lucy's internship finally ends. She gives farewell gifts to everyone at the company, throwing a small celebration. She even approaches Shir-woo with a gift, which Shir-woo accepts. Lucy thanks her for all she has learned because of her. For the first time, Shir-woo responded nicely to her. Getting courage from this, Lucy confronts Shir-woo and explains that she knows Shir-woo was Jang's best friend who hated her, which made Shir-woo hate her too. Lucy clarifies that she is not a boyfriend stealer as accused, but that Shir-woo's best friend is crazy for chasing someone who already belongs to someone else. She advises Shir-woo to get Jang some mental health help, as it seems like Jang has some issues. Shir-woo listens quietly, realizing Lucy is right about Jang. Later, Dwan is shown with his team having launched a new game. They eagerly await to see how many people will download it on the first day, and to their surprise, the game became a super hit on its first day. Seeing this, the entire team cheered loudly. Once the commotion dies down, the company director tells Dwan that she is promoting him to a better post because he is very hardworking. Hearing this, Dwan becomes overjoyed. The next day, Lucy is very sad because today, her and Dwan were both supposed to go camping, but due to heavy rain, they are unable to go. Dwan comes up with an idea and suggests that they camp at home. Lucy agrees, and then they both start setting up tents and other camping things right there in the lounge. While setting everything up, when Lucy is under the table, Dwan pulls her strongly towards him. Surprised at the sudden closeness, Lucy starts moving back, but he doesn't let her go, creating a romantic atmosphere. At that moment, Lucy's mom video calls her, and so Dwan immediately hides. Lucy tells her mom that she is camping, to which her mom asks her to show the outside view. Having no other option, Lucy starts showing her the apartment, saying that due to heavy rain, she and her friend were camping at home, and that this apartment belonged to her friend. Suddenly, Lucy notices that her and Dwan's photos were decorated proudly on the table. She signals to Dwan to hide them before her mother can see them in the call. Dwan crawls to the photos and manages to remove them, but he accidentally trips Lucy in the process, and so she falls on him. However, she smartly manages to save the camera in such a way so that Dwayne won't be seen in the video call. Sang-yeon had also joined the call, and when he sees how Lucy is acting on call, he starts laughing because he understands that she is with Dwayne. To tease her, he asks their mother to question Lucy more about what she tripped on, but Lucy starts changing the topic and haphazardly ends the call, barely managing to save herself. Later at the hostel, all the roommates have arrived as the holidays are over. Shin goes to give Ming her interview recording, for which he thanks her. At that moment, Shin suddenly confesses her feelings, telling him that she likes him a lot since the day he helped her with her books. Ming is surprised and is about to say something, but she tells not to answer her now. She says that she knows he will ultimately reject her, but she still pleads with him to think about it and then walks away. In the next scene, Lucy is shown in a car with Sang-yeon because she had come to her hometown to meet her mom and father. When she arrives home, her parents are very happy to see her, as she is their pride and joy. After spending time with her parents, Lucy goes to her room and calls Dwayne to inform him about everything. Dwan is happy to talk to her, but while Lucy is on call with him, her mom overhears everything, as she had come to give something to Lucy. In the process, she finds out that her daughter has a boyfriend, but she does not know yet that it is Dwan. She immediately goes downstairs and tells her husband everything, saying that Lucy is dating someone. Her father has many questions about who the boy is and what his family is like, so he directly goes to talk to Lucy about it and asks her if she really has a boyfriend. Lucy is surprised initially, but decides not to lie and says yes. Her father asks her many questions about the boy's future, his income, and most importantly, his family status. Lucy realizes that telling them about Dwan at this moment would not be right, so she makes an excuse and leaves. Meanwhile, we see Dwan, who got a few days off from, and decides to go to Lucy's hometown as he wants to talk to Lucy's parents. Later, Lucy was buttering up Sang-yeon, as she had heard that he is going to party with his friends tonight. She asks him if she can tag along because she is getting bored. Sang-yeon realizes that she only wants to come since Dwan will also be there. Lucy is happy that he understands everything without her even having to say it. At first, Sang-yeon shows her some reluctance because he has his own plans, but eventually he agrees, and they both leave together. In the car, Lucy keeps looking at herself repeatedly in the mirror, which annoys Sang-yeon, and he tells her to stop this madness. But at that moment, he starts remembering all the past times when Lucy would nag to tag along with him, especially when he used to have plans with Dwan. He connects the dots and questions her that if she always wanted to come with him only to see Dwan. Sang-yeon, in his trail of questioning, thinks back to all the times Lucy would come to his hostel, join his friend group's lunches, and even attend his friend's wedding. He realizes that she did all that just to get to see Dwan. Sang-yeon shares this thought of his with Lucy, accusing her of using him as a PWN to meet Dwan. However, Lucy is unable to disagree because all these things were true. But surprisingly, Sang-yeon is not mad at her. He is actually quite surprised at how his sister had planned everything from the beginning, but he was never able to figure it out. They reach outside the hotel where Dwan is staying and wait in the car for him. When Dwan arrives, he and Lucy both sit in the back of the car so that they can talk together. Sang-yeon adjusts his rearview mirror so that he can keep an eye on them. Seeing Dwan getting too close to Lucy, he tells them to have some shame as he is sitting here too. Dwan goes to fasten Lucy's seatbelt when Sang-yeon decides to tell Dwan that Lucy used to come to their hostel, under the pretense of picking up stuff, just to see Dwan. But Lucy quickly silences her brother, warning him to stay quiet if he wants to live. Sang-yeon starts driving quietly and they reach the restaurant, where seeing Lucy holding Dwan's hand, their friends are shocked and ask if they are dating. To this, Dwan officially announces that Lucy is his girlfriend. Everyone is surprised because Dwan used to say Lucy was like his sister. Dwan explains that he had a crush on Lucy for a long time, but was too embarrassed to admit it. Everyone then asks Sang-yeon if he has given them permission to date, to which he says yes. Hearing this, they all remark that if they were in Dwan's place, Sang-yeon would have killed them. As the night progresses, they all enjoy a lot, and while Lucy drinks heavily, Dwan doesn't drink because he has an allergy to alcohol. Once the part is over, Dwan drives her home and parks right outside her house. Lucy, fully drunk, asks Dwan if he really has an allergy, and he says yes, but let's check again. He then kisses Lucy, and after pulling back, he claims that his allergy is gone and kisses her again. Embarrassed, Lucy quickly goes inside the house. When she is in her room, Lucy's mother comes to see her and says she saw her with Dwan earlier and asks if they are dating. Hearing this, Lucy becomes quiet and says she was going to tell her. Her mother explains that she and Dwan are not a match because his father was a killer who killed someone, and his family still troubles Dwan, which might affect her in the future. Lucy understands her mother's concern but insists that Dwan truly likes her, and she likes him too. Her mother advises her to think carefully because there is a big age gap between them, and then leaves. Next day, Lucy is troubled by all these thoughts when Dwan comes over to her house. He asks her what is troubling her mind, but she does not tell him anything. Unaware, he informs her that he is planning to talk to her parents, to which she agrees. When Lucy goes to the market with her mom, her father secretly calls Dwan, as he had found out about them. He tells Dwayne that he was happy to hear about them because Dwayne has always cared for her, and he hopes he will continue to do so. However, he is worried about Dwan's family, especially since Dwan's father is still in a coma. He expresses that he doesn't like asking personal questions but wants to ensure that Lucy doesn't face any difficulties in the future. It goes without saying that her parents want her to marry into a wealthy family, as their own family is very rich and influential, hoping for Lucy's well-being. Since Dwan understands all of this, he calmly and respectfully tells Lucy's father that he understands his concerns and also gives Lucy's father his word that he will try his best to fix all of this, and then leaves. When Lucy finally gets back home, her parents sit her down at the table and tell her everything that just happened. They express their feelings towards Lucy's and Dwan's relationship and tell her that they will try to end it, since they are against this relationship of theirs. This instantly infuriates Lucy, so she gets up from the table and storms away to go straight to her room. The first thing she does when she reaches her room is to call Dwan to reassure him of the fact that he is the perfect man for her, and Lucy tells him to ignore everything that other people might say. Dwan acts as if he is perfectly normal and makes up an excuse saying that he has some urgent work to attend to, so he will be going back to his hometown again, and then cuts the call. Lucy knows for a fact that he is sad no matter what he says, so Lucy starts to worry. She decides to pack her suitcases and go back to Dwan's hometown the next morning. When her parents see this, they get very worried. So Lucy explains to them how it doesn't matter how Dwayne is or in which condition he is. She will always support Dwan. She expresses how she really likes Dwan, and he likes her back as well, and the feelings they have for each other are true. She states that if her parents don't trust Dwayne, the least they can do is trust their own daughter. She tells them that it is her own decision, and now that she is a grown-up, she needs to make these decisions on her own. This leaves Lucy's parents speechless, and then she walks out of the house and goes straight to the airport. When she lands in Dwan's hometown, Lucy gets a call from him, and he asks her why she came back, and then asks her to wait at the airport, saying that he is coming to pick her up. While she is waiting, she is reminded of the last time she came here as a kid just to meet Dwan. When Dwan reaches the airport and comes over to Lucy, she hands him 2 small chits which she wrote as a kid. In one of the chits, it said that she likes a friend of her brother's and his name is Dwan. She had misspelled Dwan's name because she was very young when she wrote it. In the other chit, she had written that when she grows up, she will start to earn a lot of money, just so that she can help Dwan out. Dwan is shocked after reading these chits, so Lucy tells him that she has liked him since she was just a small girl. She also says that she understands that Dwan might want to listen to Lucy's parents, but she says that she cannot live without him, and then she starts crying. Dwan hugs her very tightly and wipes away her tears and tells her that no matter what happens and no matter what anyone says, he will never leave her. When they get back home, Dwan is sitting and thinking about the time when Lucy was younger and came to his hometown. She was also crying at that time, so Dwayne wonders to himself if he gives Lucy more pain than love. When Lucy comes over to him, he tells her that he will never let her cry again and expresses his love to her and tells Lucy that she is his life. Lucy immediately kisses him after she hears this, and he then returns the favor. The next morning, Dwan meets with his company director and tells her that he is leaving the company. He explains that he wants to settle down in Lucy's hometown, and he wants to make his own company there so he can convince Lucy's family to accept their relationship, as well as save Lucy from the torture she faces from Jang's family. The company director understands his reasoning and promises to help him as much as she can. This makes Dwan extremely happy, but his happiness is short-lived because as soon as he leaves the room, he gets a phone call. The phone call was from the hospital, asking Dwan to get there immediately. When he finally reaches the hospital, Dwan meets his father's doctor, who tells Dwan that his father's condition is really bad and he might not survive any longer, so this was his last meeting with his father. Dwan goes in the room and gets very emotional as he sits right by his father's bed and starts venting his feelings out. He complains about the fact that his father should have accepted his fault years ago, so he could have come out of jail early and would have been able to spend more time with his family. He even expresses how, because of all the money problems, his mother was keeping her sickness a secret, and by the time she reached the hospital, it was too late, and that they could do nothing since they had no money for the treatments. He then tells his father how he has paid off all the debts his family was in, and he even adds on by saying that he does not drink, and the only reason for that is so that he does not make a mistake like his own father did. Suddenly, Dwan's father's finger moves. This leaves Dwan feeling shocked and hopeful that maybe his father might wake up. But then, his father's heart stopped beating, and the machine started flatlining, which means that his father was no longer in the world, and had passed away right after he heard his son, Dwan, tell him that he forgave him for everything. Dwan very sadly exits the hospital to find Lucy there. She somehow found out. Lucy hugs Dwan and tries to comfort him because he was crying very heavily since he hoped that one day his father would wake up from his coma, but he never did. After a few days pass, Dwan brought Lucy over to his mother's grave, and he introduces Lucy to his mother and tells his mother how Lucy is the girl he really likes and now they are lovers. Lucy then says to Dwan's mother's grave that she will always take care of Dwan no matter what. Dwan tells his mother how his father has also passed away, so now he hopes that the both of them are happy together in heaven, and then he once again starts to cry. Lucy comforts him as much as she can. After a few days, Dwan tells Lucy that he is moving to her hometown to start up his own business and his own company. Lucy asks him why he is going to her hometown when he can do it here as well, so he explains how he is doing it so that he can prove to Lucy's family that he is the right guy for her, and so that her family accepts their relationship. He tells her that it will take him nearly 2 years to set up everything for his company, and coincidentally, this is also the same amount of years it will take Lucy to graduate. So by the time she is done with her studies, everything will be ready back at her hometown for her. Lucy is sad over the fact that he's leaving, but she knows that he is doing all of this for herself and their relationship, so she agrees. That same night, Dwan finishes up his packing and Lucy makes him some food one last time before he leaves. When after 2 more days it's time for Dwan's flight to Lucy's hometown, the both of them go to the airport together. Lucy does not feel like letting him go, so she hugs him very closely and expresses herself by saying that she will miss him a lot. Dwan hugs Lucy back, and he gets very emotional, so he promises that he will take a flight and come visit Lucy whenever he gets the chance to do so. The both of them share one last hug, and then Dwan leaves. Lucy forces herself to smile so that Dwan sees her smiling one last time, but right as he left, she gets so sad that she starts tearing up, and eventually it gets too much for her to control, so she starts crying. Sometime later, Lucy is working very hard with Ling to develop and program a video game because she took part in a game-creating competition as a part of her course, and she's working very hard because she wants to get the first position in the competition. Meanwhile, back in Lucy's hometown, Dwan is looking at suitable buildings and offices to buy for his company, and when he finally finds the perfect one, he buys the furniture and sets it into place. Then, without wasting any time, he begins to take interviews and starts to hire employees so that he can get the work started as soon as possible. One night, Dwan goes for a dinner with his old childhood friends, and while they're at the restaurant, Dwan gets a call from Lucy, so he picks it up and starts talking to her very romantically, so all his friends start laughing at him, saying that he has changed into a different man now. Once the call is over, Dwan asks Sang-yeon for a favor, and when Sang-yeon agrees, he tells Sang-yeon to tell him whenever his parents are free so that he can come over and talk to them. Sang-yeon agrees and organizes a meetup, and the very next day, Dwan goes to Sang-yeon's house. He also takes some food with him, so they all share a nice lunch, and when they are done with lunch, they have tea. During tea time, Dwan tells Lucy's parents and Sang-yeon that he is now starting his business here, so that he can settle down with Lucy without Lucy having to leave her parents. He then adds on by saying that his reason for settling down here is so that Lucy can live close to her parents, and so that she is free from Jang's constant torture. He explains how it will take him nearly 2 years to set up his company, and that in the same time it will take for Lucy to graduate. So when graduates, she can settle here with him. Lucy's parents accept their relationship very happily now, and also express this feeling, and this makes Dwayne very happy. When he gets back to his house, he video calls Lucy. Lucy asks him why he is so happy, so he tells her how he convinced her parents, and that the parents have now accepted their relationship. This makes Lucy very happy. She asks Dwayne if he could come visit her by the end of the month because she had won the video game creation competition and was going to receive a trophy in front of the entire school and a mystery surprise guest. Dwan is very happy and proud of his girlfriend, but he tells her that he cannot visit since he just started his own company here, and he has a lot of work to do. Lucy pretends as if she understands, but deep down inside, she was actually sad that Dwan was not going to come for her big day. When it's finally time for the event, Dwan suddenly comes and surprises Lucy by sitting next to her. Lucy asks him how is able to come, so he tells her that he was invited to this event and he came here especially for her. She is extremely happy, but Dwan asks her to fix his tie, and when she gets close to him to fix it, he suddenly kisses her, which makes her very happy, but also shy. The host of the event then asks the special guest to come on stage, so Dwan goes on stage as it turns out he is known as the best game developer of the year. While he is giving his speech, Lucy is trying to record a video of him, but she is unable to because the people in front of her stood up, so he asks them all to sit down so his girlfriend can record him easily. This overjoys Lucy, who is also overwhelmed by all the attention. When it's time for Lucy to receive her trophy, Dwan hands it to her himself, and he feels very proud of his girlfriend. And just like that, through cute moments like these, 2 years have passed and Lucy has graduated. After the graduation, everyone is at the beach when Rose's boyfriend signals Lucy to send Rose to the bathroom. Lucy tells Rose to go and fix her makeup so that they can take more photos later, and so she takes Rose to the washroom. Actually, Rose's boyfriend plans to propose to Rose today. When Lucy and Rose finally come back, there is a heart made with rose petals on the shore of the beach. However, Rose suddenly jumps out of the heart when Lucy enters. Lucy is very confused and looks around everywhere. When she finally looks behind her, she sees Dwan there knelt down on one knee, so she realizes that the surprise was actually not for Rose, but for Lucy herself. And then suddenly, Lucy's parents and Sang-yeon also come and are very happy and cheering them on, which also tells Lucy that Dwan took her family's blessing before proposing to her. Dwan then pulls out a ring and asks Lucy to marry him. She very happily and excitedly says yes and puts out her hand. Dwan puts the ring on her finger, and then once he gets up, the both of them kiss each other. On this note, the show ends.